Yay, we're live. Hey everybody, Peter. Day late and a dollar short, but yeah, time for Westworld Season 2, Episode 8, Kiksuya. I'm not going to go too spoiler on it. Definitely is a go watch. A little more mellow than the previous 7 episodes. And just so you know, Kiksuya is Lakota for remember. And we get to follow the Ghost Nation this time around, following Akecheta, who is the Aboriginal fellow we've been following around. He's got the black half face and totally white body, and it's basically life and times of how we got Ghost Nation, how they started, how they got to where they are, and basically their entire backstory for almost the entire episode with only slight hints of other characters, because I guess they figured, we've been seeing Ghost Nation, just hints of it in season 1 and a little bit in season 2, but they are a pivotal part of Westworld and the Westworld story. Again, don't forget, if you are new here, hit subscribe, hit notifications. I do post on a weekly basis. I may be late for the next few episodes. I might be a day late. Sundays right now are a little bit busier for me. Just the way this month's going to be going out. We've got only like 2 more episodes to go anyway, so then we'll be carrying on with other movie reviews. Incredibles coming out this week. Tag. There was Ocean's 8. I might do an Ocean's 11, the original, because Mr. Sunday Movie did the other day. But I want to do my take on it, from a different generation than a millennial generation. But anyway, that's enough of that. Like I said, I'm not going to go into much detail, but we're basically starting with Akecheta, or sometimes they just call him Ake, like A-K-E. And the way the tribe started off originally was just a bunch of Indians doing their normal stuff, hunting, gathering, that sort of thing. They're also one of the original hosts, because there is a scene where they say, well, what's his make and model? Because Ake has never died this entire time. He supposedly was almost like 10 years in Westworld without a scratch. Somehow he never died, never had an accident, never accidentally fell off a cliff, all that good stuff. And part of his journey was trying to figure out, okay, there's more to this, of what's going on. And he's also, and this must be something in the original host, which is interesting, because when you remember, Dolores started remembering, Maeve started remembering, and now Ake is remembering stuff. And he remembers when they even switched them over to Ghost Nation. They never really explained why they wanted to. They just wanted to, I guess, have a more brutal part of the parks. Okay, we're going to take our nice little Indians. We're going to turn them into like actual savages that everybody thinks that they are. Paint them all up, and we've got Ghost Nation. So it's like I said, this whole entire episode is basically his journey, trying to find the door. He does stumble on some things, like when they were constructing in the park. Somehow he just got on a roll and just like, I'm going to check out some stuff, and something doesn't seem right. He, if you remember from season 1, because when they do the flashback at the beginning now, they do show that scene where young William had put Logan on a horse naked and just stuck a little feather in his hand and sent him on his way. Well, Ake bumps into Logan. I'm surprised the horse actually died, but I guess maybe even though they're robots and androids, they are programmed to act like living beings, and maybe they do have if it knows it doesn't get water or whatever, they'll just won't work. So Ake does stumble on Logan, and that sort of gets him on his quest to find this door. And because by now Logan is actually total sunstroke, he's lost his marbles, and he keeps babbling on about worlds. This is not my world. This is another world I should be going to, that kind of thing. And that's what gets the ball rolling for Ake. And so he goes on his quest, and like I said, he stumbles on a few things. He actually even stumbles on the part where Dolores and Teddy were shooting up the place and killed Arnold, if you remember that from season 1. So he actually stumbled on the aftermath of that. And then later in the story, he also stumbles on the aftermath of the after party, where you find Ford had never been dead. So it's almost, they almost shot it like it's the same layout. I did see it online, and I thought I was going to be listening for it, but there is again another pop song dropped into the music, played via piano of Nirvana's Heart-Shaped Box, which was kind of cool. I thought it was going to be in some other part because there was a lot of orchestral type of mood music playing in the background, but actually it was in about the third act. And one of the scenes, it's when Akei decides he needs to find his true love, who he lost in the beginning after they did the Ghost Nation thing on him. They wiped everybody's memory and they sort of shuffled everybody around. And he did see, the love of his life later on when he was Ghost Nation, but she was then with somebody else, and a guy called the A2. And he's like, wait a minute, I know her, kind of thing. And that kind of sucked too when you think, even though they're hosts and they're just, throwaways for the humans and the people coming in, the guests, these guys all have a very sad and tragic backstory, which is sad and tragic. But everybody does. And also there's a tie-in to why they went after Maeve's daughter. And you find out, slight spoiler, he's trying to protect everybody. Once he finds out the true nature of the park, he doesn't call it the park, but he knows there's the place you go. They will come for you. He figures out who they are. And of course, it's the technicians and everything else. And when he finally figures out, I got to go find, that was a weird thing too. Again, this is a little bit of a spoiler part. But he finally figured out he wanted to find his true love because the host did get replaced and they put some other girl host in the place. So I was like, wait a minute, that's not my girlfriend. What's going on? So he figures he has to die to go down. And that's when we find out that he's a model A2. And everybody's going like, what's going on? What's going on? Like, why you called me into the office? Well, this guy's never been dead. He's never been modified. He's missed all the upgrades. What's going on? And they were, again, just when they created the Ghost Nation too, they just said, just blow it. Again, that's, I think, why we're getting all these problems too. They're just doing sloppy work on reprogramming the host. Yeah, you just overrate his memory and just give him the update and throw him back in the park. Like, we don't really care. But the weird part is when he was in, and he's never been down to the technical area, where they do all the fixing. He was actually figured out how to get down the cold storage, going on the escalator, not acting like what's an escalator. He just like it's natural, and finds his true love in the gang of everybody that had the pencil stuffed up their nose kind of idea, and that gave him another purpose. Again, he's lost the love of his life, and goes from there and goes on to the spree of trying to protect basically hosts from the guests. That's what the main mission was, and stop doing the killing and whatever, and go more towards peace. There is also a hint of, we know it's a hint to Wyatt Dolores, but he refers to, I don't know if he knows it is Dolores. He just refers to her as the Deathbringer, so we're assuming that's who it is. And he does bump into Ford. We have a bit of a scene with him and Ford when Ford is doing the design work, and actually Ford is aware of Akei doing his thing and going around and, you're watching us. Well, I've been watching you, my friend. And you get some witty dialogue again for Anthony Hopkins, which is kind of cool. He lets him go, but he gives him a little bit of a note of the next time you see the Deathbringer and these things may occur, it's your time to do your thing. And it goes from there. And there's a bit of it still of a tie-in. Maeve got taken in by Sizemore down to the technical area, and they are fixing her up. But it's a slight hint. It's not a main part of the story. The main part of the story is Akei's, travels through this episode, which was kind of cool. Some people kind of didn't like it. The only thing I found sort of disconcerting about this episode is the amount of subtitles, and my Lakota is like for shit. So, but there are parts where will speak English at certain points, I guess, to reiterate points or make a stronger point as opposed to, not that I don't mind subtitles, but I prefer subtitles with a contrast. You have white type, and some parts you can see because it's on a dark area, but when you're on a lighter area of the scene, then it's like, what's that again? And, so that's sort of the odd thing. But overall, pretty good episode. This is now number 8. We've got 2 more left, and that'll be the end of the season. That maybe you're going to rerun them again, that kind of thing. So with episodes like this, it does make season 2 a little bit better, but not as memorable or as enjoyable as season 1. I've been saying this throughout, but yeah, I'm just going to keep reiterating it myself. But I put it out to you guys out there. Did you enjoy it? Did you not like it? As always, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs down. If you're new here, don't forget, hit subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Hit notifications. I do post on a weekly basis. And we'll see you in the next episode.